Hello, everybody. Ooh, look at that. Hello. It's Amy Hill 5, pelvic health physical therapist, where your privates are my business. Hey, we're live today, and we're going to be talking about if COVID-19 is puckering your pelvic floor, because my son is right over here laughing at me. Look at my hair sticking up right there. There he is. Woohoo!
Hi.
There's Preston. So I thought we would just see how many people get on. It's Thursday, and I think I screwed up because I was telling people I would normally get on. Hi, Jody. I was telling people I would normally get on Monday, Wednesday, Friday for Facebook Lives, and I completely lost what day it was yesterday. So that's part of the reason, if you guys saw the post of, like what can we control and what can't we control. And so that's why I just always talk about people's pelvic floor muscles being puckered up. Hi, Cass. So, oh, yay, Jody. Okay, I can see comments. That's awesome. Hi, Rachel. So today, I haven't talked at all about COVID-19, and I was trying just to manage by not discussing it. Hi, Leah. But I wanted to show you that all is not perfect in my world. Hi, Cherie. And Cherie is the one who said she rushed home yesterday to get on the live with me on Wednesday. And I was like, what? And I totally just spaced it that's what I was supposed to do. So I may have to do some changes in the time frame too, that I may not be able to go live as much as I want because it's just too much for me to do. Okay, so first of all, I'm just going to show you. You can see I'm not in my typical room, and boy, I do look tired today. Okay, so we're going to start outside because this is sort of what I want you to get a feel of. So, of course, we have our property, and I have been dying with, I shouldn't say that. That's not appropriate. Excuse me. I have been really irritated with allergies recently, right? And so, of course, when I'm sneezing, my nose is running, my eyes are itching. And, of course, the first thing I'm like, oh, my gosh, do I have COVID-19, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, no, because those are not the signs and symptoms. But, so yesterday the pollen was everywhere, and it was warm, and it's been getting colder, and now it's snowing. So here we are snowing, and I just want to show you how my son's going to open the door for me. Oh, look at that. How nice is that? We might have to incorporate that into more lives. So I just want to show you what my morning fuel station looks like, because I'm not always feeling like I'm in control. Oh, Preston wants to get in again. Say hi.
Hi again.
He was on a little bit earlier, yeah, so I think he's eating gummy bears. Yeah, we're going to go over to that fueling station because that's what I'm calling it. So this is my morning fueling station. And you guys, whenever I can see the comments, I can't see. But so when we come in, we've got all of our stuff. We've got wipes. We've got our hand sanitizer. We've got some Lysol spray. And then these are my vitamins that I'm doing. Doing vitamins, and then of course we don't have coffee because we just finished it off, and it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're still fueling. And I know
Dad always does that. Dad right there.
Dad always does that. Yep. Preston's gonna help me today on our live. That's awesome. Hi, Brenda. Oh, and Leah says hi, Preston.
Hi.
So okay, so I am doing vitamins. I do coffee. And so that's my morning fueling station that lasts probably till about noon. With the coffee. And Preston really wants to be part of this.
And then that's my fueling station.
Okay, we're going to talk about that. This is the evening fueling station, and I know that some of you probably don't do this, but you guys, I am. So here's my wine. And then we've got chocolate chips. Yep, I'm sorry, you're going to judge me. I've got sodas. We got some gummy bears.
That's only because of the judge her for
some other drinks. Preston says that's only because of
me and Nana.
Yeah.
My Nana.
So then we come through here, and this is Preston's.
Don't look at that. Don't show him that.
Well, this is Preston. So he's right. He is playing a lot of video games, and is he on the TV more than he should be? Probably. No. Do I judge myself for it every day? And then what I do the best at is that I say, all right, I'm going to not be too hard on myself for that because of it is what it is. Do you want me to show you? I'm talking to my husband right now. Do you want me to show your workstation? Come on. Okay. So we got to show this. So this is where David's working. So this is our living room, or excuse me, our dining room table. Yep, there he is. And well, I'm not going to say much more than that. So anyhow, he's got his stuff going on. So I'm going down my hall. I'm going to show you some other things. So we're going to go into where Preston, and this will make sense as I get more. So let's take a look at where he's working. Here's his workstation. And if you really want to check it out, do you see down here underneath his bed and everything? This is where he did homework today. That's where we did school. And for a while I was laying on the floor with him. And then in the morning, and here's my room. I'm showing you guys everything. We didn't make the bed today. When I get to where I get ready, here I am, right? I have to put deodorant on because doing lives like this, you guys, actually makes me sweat. I get really nervous. So I had a dash of baby powder, which I probably shouldn't be using anyway. And everything looks sort of picked up really because we are home. But when we go to the closet, I don't know how much you can see because should point out my.
So this is her laundry.
That's all my laundry, and then show Dad's laundry.
This is all my dad's laundry.
Yeah, look at that. It's clean.
This is where we put our towels.
Yeah, he wants to show you where we put our towels. So the point is that, and now we're going to go to my office because this is what I really wanted to share. It looks a lot of times, right, like I'm very organized and you just see me and what's going on, but this is what my surroundings look like, which I'm working on. But, this is my massage table that's supposed to be clear, and David just says to me that is just one more flat surface that you pile a bunch of crap on, which is true. So I've got my pelvic model, I've got calendars, and I'm trying to keep myself straight. I've just got my purse. I even have crap underneath. So this is what it looks like. I've got my laptop bag. I've got my pelvic health box full of treasures that I'm going to actually go through on a live one day. I've got my slippers, and then there's my workstation. You guys are going to see I do have a light because I have been prepping for all this stuff, and I've got stuff taped to my beautiful antique piece of whatever that is, my secretary, and you're going to love this one. Do you see that? Yeah, that's a map that I had on the wall, and I took it down because I didn't think that needed to be in the back of my lives, and I can't fold the damn thing up. And so I wrestled with that thing until I was almost in tears. And I thought, this is really stupid. I'll just fold it up the way I want to fold it up and when I want to fold it up, because obviously I have not gotten to it yet. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get on my post. So I'm getting on what I shared. You guys, okay, so it's I really wanted to share with you guys like what this actually looks like. It's we have one child, and thanks, Cash. Yes, I am definitely real. And you know what I just realized too? Like I forgot to plug in my little I have a little microphone. So let's see if this actually works now that I've been walking around through the whole house. I don't know, can you guys hear me? And hopefully it won't screw it up, but that works better. Okay, so like I said, it looks like when I get on these lives, it looks like everything is just great. And I do pretty well. I do pretty well most of the time because I honestly am lucky enough, you guys, I have really been working hard, like I've said, thank you, Sheree, for a long time on trying to get things online for people. And again, the reason that I have done that and I'm working so hard for the online courses is because I have so many people and so many patients who are coming to me asking for help or asking why they didn't hear of me 10 years ago or of pelvic PT. And I just said, there's not enough of me to go around. If I see patients and I have 40 or 50 visits in a week, it's really hard to feel like I'm serving enough people because I may have another 60 people waiting in the wings to get in to see me. So the goal of all the online is to make sure I'm getting information out to people who need it, who otherwise don't have access to it. And so that is giving me a huge sense of control, because even though what I'm out of control about, and again, I'm going to tear up like I do every time, I have a lot of patients that are scheduled in the clinic in my brick and mortar that I can't get to because I cannot guarantee their safety. I don't have enough masks for everyone to wear in my clinic, and so I have chosen to close the clinic's doors right now, right? And we're not seeing patients. And instead, I have thrown myself full force into the online because I was sort of dragging my feet and really, really having a lot of self-doubt that it was right, or should I do it, or I don't want to charge people for the courses. However, it's really valuable information, and Cherie and I, we did a really great interview yesterday that I will post probably tomorrow for you guys to watch about her experience. So she's on right now, and it's amazing. Hi, Carol. Oh, I'm glad you got into the group. Yes. Yay. Okay. So for me, if you just got on, you can rewatch this, watch the replay, because I just went through my whole house, and our house actually looks cleaner than it normally does when we're both working and we're both outside, because I usually have so much crap piled everywhere. Like, my husband's right, on every flat surface I pile stuff up, because if I put it away I forget about it, so I need to see it. So he has really been helping, and he's a great cook, and he's been cooking more, and then I've been able to throw myself and feel in control with what I'm doing online. So I have patients I know right now, you guys, that don't have food. And I don't usually tell people this, so I don't even know why I need to tell it, but we at the clinic, we give gift certificates for grocery stores for certain people that we know are really struggling. And so one of the things I've really been struggling with is, should I go get food and find them and go drop it off? But then that puts me at risk, it puts my family at risk. So when I saw this, like the things I can control and the things I can't control, it really hit me, right? Because I was also getting really upset and nervous about the decisions that I had made. Sorry about this, you guys. So about closing the clinic where other clinics aren't closing. And so when we read this and we say the things I cannot control, on this little, if you guys go back to this little picture that I shared, because this is being shared on Facebook, if others follow the rules of social distancing, the actions of others, these are things I can't control, predicting what will happen, other people's motives, how others react, how long will this last, the amount of toilet paper at the store, right? And that made me laugh a little bit, because my husband we did a Walmart order, so we have some things that we need to pick up. And he's like, well, there's no toilet paper at Walmart. And you know what happened is what happens to us when we feel like we don't have that control and we feel that anxiety. It goes back to that whole central nervous system and that autonomic nervous system tightening up. And I've talked about this before. So, sorry, these are my allergies. And also because I was starting to get teary and I didn't bring a tissue in. So when I reached out and I told one of my moderators and admins what I was going to talk about today, she said the same thing. She goes, oh my gosh, I am so tightening up. Hold on, let me grab my model. I'm so tightening up in the pelvic floor muscles again. And so everything just tightens up. And it's because of what's happening in that central nervous system, the autonomic nervous system, and your balance gets out. And so it's not just your pelvic floor though. Your heart rate increases, our breathing increases, our respiratory rate. We sort of get tighter up here. We breathe a little bit more shallow. And all of those things, that's the anxiety. And there's definitely a chemical process and a chemical cascade that goes on when we start having excuse me. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so sorry. When our, our sympathetic nervous system gets kicked in. So we talk about having anxiety, right? We talk about the feelings that we get. So some people, we feel it in different places. When I have anxiety, I feel it at my solar plexus or a little bit higher. And then the pelvic health part of it, if people are having pelvic health issues and have had trauma, have had surgeries, have had deliveries. Hi, Judy. Labor deliveries, whether it's a, emergency C-section that they weren't planning on, if it's a sort of a really difficult labor and delivery, all those things that are affecting pelvic floor muscles, that may be where you experience the tightness. And as we've talked about in some of our other videos, for those of you that have watched other videos, what happens, let's go do a recap. For our pelvic floor muscles specifically, we tighten up. That will affect your bladder. It will make it so your bladder we can fill up more. You might have trouble emptying. The other part of that is that your bladder might get irritable because of all those signals from the sympathetic nervous system, and it can spasm on you and make you leak or have sudden urges that you normally don't have. We could be holding so tense that you get more constipated. So that's going to be a really interesting one. And I don't know if anyone is experiencing this, and I'm going to raise my hand. Here I am. I have my own slow GI issues, and I've had constipation for most of my life that I can remember. So it's something that I really pay attention to. So two things that I'm just going to discuss right now. There's more than this, but when your sympathetic nervous system is overactive, or you're out of balance, let's say, and you're more in that fight, flight, or freeze mode, you get signals to your GI system that says, hey, sorry, but this is not the time for you to process food and digest food, nor is it the time for you to poop. Do you see the saber-toothed tiger over there? It's time to fight, or flee, or we just freeze, and we know that happens too. So our GI system slows down, our pelvic floor muscles tighten up, and then you may get more constipation. And what I was going to say too is, because we're not going to the store as much right now, I'm not getting as much fiber. And that is also creating a very major slowdown in my system. And I've been thinking about that too, which is part of the reason one of the vitamins and supplements that I decided to take is I did a greens that I can just put in a powdered form to help me a little bit, because and I'm going to sprinkle it in my kid's food. He doesn't know that yet, and I'm not going to tell him because he's not eating good stuff either. Who else is having that problem? And you know what, you guys, I'm going to try this because I can't tell. I don't know if I can see anybody's comments. It's so weird how this works. Let's see if I can even see if I'm live, because I know I can see you guys. Let's see if I can see it on my computer. Oh, okay. And so Brenda says, yeah, okay. So Brenda is saying that she can't live without her daily whole raw oats and with flaxseed, right? Yeah, and that's some of the ingredients in the stuff that I'm taking. Or you can just mix it in to help. And everyone has to remember we have to drink more water with our fiber, right? Or it'll sit in you like a plug and then you can't poop, which makes it worse. So if you increase your fiber amounts, you gotta increase that water, which really helps. Okay, you guys, now I can see comments a little bit better now, hopefully. Yeah, okay. So then and we're gonna have to talk about another, when I get into one of my constipation talks, I will talk about how people that have a really slow transit GI are not supposed to eat more fiber. So it gets a little tricky, and I'm going to have a dietitian on next week, you guys, and we're going to interview her and ask her questions. So that will be really good. Okay, going back to, does your pelvic floor, does it make your pelvic floor pucker? That's what I'm talking about, is the anxiety, the fear, the freeze, flight, fight, flight, or freeze. Most of us, what are we going to do? And it's causing pelvic floor puckering, along with diaphragmatic breathing issues where you're breathing more up here, more anxiety. And I don't have all the answers. Like I said, I mean, one thing that is helping me is looking at this picture that I brought up, and I'm going to do it again. We talked about what we can't control. So what can we control? And I just really appreciated this, is that we can control, it says my positive attitude. I want to talk about that in a minute. How I follow the CDC recommendations, my own social distancing, my kindness and grace, limiting my social media, turning off the news, and finding fun things to do at home. And here's the thing. I think it also really depends on where you live. I would really love to hear from people who are living in apartments, who are living very close together in cities, because that is not my experience. I have a piece of property, and we don't have that many people in our house. I spoke with a woman earlier today who her house burned down, and she and her husband and their 4 teenagers, they have middle school and high schoolers, are living in a tiny house. Her kids are sleeping on mattresses right now because they're rebuilding their house, and then COVID-19 hits. So, she said, in a lot of ways, she's the only, what can she control? She's not going out and getting her house rebuilt right now. She can't control that the kids can't go to school. She can't control that the kids are on top of each other, but she is trying to control how she responds to it. And the whole positive attitude thing, that's why I wanted to do this live today, is that I haven't addressed COVID, and I do get upset. And I don't even know if I have to be positive about it, like, woohoo, oh my gosh, tomorrow will be better. But it is the way I react to myself with my son, and how many video games and how much TV he's watching. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give myself some grace today, and my son, and I'm just going to let him do that. And we'll go outside when we can. My husband and he have been baking bread together, things like that. This is giving my husband an opportunity to have time at home, which we would never, I don't think we'd ever in our lives, you guys, get to experience, where we've even had these last 3 weeks together, both my husband and I and my son all together. So that is one of my attitudes that I've just thought, this would never have happened for us. We wouldn't have the finances to be able to do that until now. So that's one of the ways I'm looking at that. So I don't know if you want to say that's like positive, and maybe it is, but it's not like Pollyanna-ish is what I'm trying not to come across as. Oh, yes. And Shree's saying, way to go, Amy. Good choices. More of the positive instead of the negative can lift you all up. Yeah. Turning off the news. Oh my gosh. So at nighttime, I that's when I sort of slow down, and I got on last night and saw that a singer at age 52 had passed away, and that really, really got me rolling until I found something about, those text messages that people do, that it's all about autocorrect, and how they're trying to say something to someone and it comes out talking, they may say that they're trying to mentor their best friend, and instead it comes out as like, well, I don't know if I should say this word, but I'm going to, because it's pelvic health, so here we go. So it comes out as like, I was masturbating with my friend, and then they're like, and they keep going through, and they, instead of, they were asking to get popsicles at the grocery store, and it came out as, can you get me boobsicles, because of autocorrect. So I was laughing so hard after that, and I decided I cannot watch the news at all. My husband watches it. He's counting the numbers. He's watching all that stuff. It will not work for me. I am way too sensitive to it, and I'm just not going to do it. But I am going to look for the funny things that I can. Okay. So, and then limiting my social media. I still get on social media because I have really cool people who show up on my social media. I mean, who I follow, that's how they track what you do, right? And so the more I watch of the funny boobsicle autocorrect texting stuff, the more of that I'm going to get. And so I'm okay with that. I also do watch TikTok, you guys. Does anyone else watch TikTok? Because it's funny. There are some really funny people on there, and they dance, and I love it. So, and then our own social distancing for our own family. Again, I've made some really hard choices with closing down the clinic. and that's stressful financially for me, but it's the right thing for our family, and I feel it's the right thing for patients, just because I can't guarantee that I can keep people safe. So I don't know how much that helps you, but just, just like, so how do we unpucker the pelvic floor? I mean, breathing techniques are always proven, right? The deep belly breathing, and you know what, you guys, I'm going to have to do a little bit better. I'll do a breathing little short video and post it, because it's about how we breathe. And then also, if you breathe in for 4 seconds and then trying to exhale for, let's say, 6 seconds. So the exhale wants to be longer than the inhale. There's tons of ways we can do this. I'll find a really simple one. And then Cherie says she has a breathing app on her phone, so you can do that too. And even if you do 2 to 3 minutes, or if you start feeling that anxiety anywhere, your stomach, your shoulders, your pelvic floor, practice the breathing techniques, because it calms your sympathetic nervous system, the fight, flight, or freeze system, and it brings up the parasympathetic nervous system, which is where we rest and relax and we heal and we sleep and we pee and we poop. And the parasympathetic nervous system also, you guys, is the part of the system that controls sexual orgasm more than the sympathetic part. So you know how we talk about women being emotional? If we're up here just in our heads thinking and worried, when I say emotional, I mean, like, let's say worried or going through a million things on your task list, that's more of your sympathetic nervous system, and we want your parasympathetic nervous system to balance that out. So among other things, it can also make your sexual life more pleasurable. Okay, so the other thing about the breathing is that the diaphragm is up here, and it's a muscle, right? And then the pelvic floor is down here. And so when we, let's see, I always get this. So when we breathe in, everything goes down. It's like a piston. And when we breathe out, it comes back up and in. Your pelvic floor muscle is what I'm talking about, and your diaphragm. So when we breathe in, it goes down. When we breathe out, it comes back up. And so you can sort of see, if we want to think of it like a wave, and you're doing it nice and slow and nice and easy, you do get this movement of the pelvic floor muscles and the diaphragm. And what's interesting about that is this is all where it happens. And so they'll talk about like a massaging of the intestines and the organs, and you're creating this different pressure gradient to get things moving through you. And I know we have some yoga instructors on today, and I am not a yoga instructor, so you know what? That's going to be another interview we're going to do, because a lot of the yoga positions will massage certain organs. The breathing techniques help to calm that nervous system, and I'm sure they have different names for it, so you guys are going to have to fill me in, and we'll talk about it more. Because yoga is actually one thing I would love to do more of at home. I definitely know in my life before, there was no way I would ever make it to a yoga class. Too busy, right? Too much living in the sympathetic nervous system, puckered up, pelvic floor puckering the whole time. And so let's go back to, so the breathing techniques are definitely something that you can do. Finding things to laugh about. Cass says yes, yoga. And hi, Elizabeth, I saw you joined. Oh, and then Cherie wanted to point out, she said you can use the breathing techniques that you used when you were pregnant and during labor and delivery. Is that what you're saying, Cherie? During labor and delivery, if you had a vaginal delivery? Yep. So breathing techniques, if you do yoga, if you are able to get out and exercise a little bit, and that's something I haven't gotten into yet. And so we'll get into more of the exercise and just movement. Let's say movement, you guys, and not exercise. Let's say movement. As well as finding something funny, and then focusing on what we can control within our own realm. And I'm going to keep this picture that I posted very close so I can go back to it again, so I am not focusing on other people's motives, why other people are not social distancing, let's see, how long we have for this. Someone just sent me something today about how long they think this is going to last. And I'm just like, okay, well, I don't know, but we're going to do our best. And the last thing, so I've really been talking to a lot of women. I had another patient that I spoke to yesterday, and she's a friend as well. She was talking about something she listened to where there's a circle of influence and then a circle of interests. And so she has four kids and 4 daughters that are younger. They are all below the age of, I think, 13. And I thought that was really good too, of she wants to go out and help everyone as well. And it is true we want to help, but where is our sphere of influence right now? And our sphere of influence may be like within our own circle, which is taking care of our family, our kids, our dog, or it is taking care of our own health. Even if you don't have kids at home, right? There are certain people that are more susceptible, so maybe you're in that group. And so what is your sphere of influence? It's on your own health, and focusing right there in that circle where the interest may be, well, let me see what's on the news today. Let me see what the CDC says. Let me see all these other things. But we can't really do anything about those interests right now. We can't control any of that. We can only control what's inside our sphere of our own influence. So that was interesting. I'm sitting over here. I drew a picture of it, which I could show you, but it'd be backwards. I just drew 2 circles, right? Like what's the sphere of influence and then what's my sphere of interest. And I think it goes along with the things I can control and the things I cannot control. So this COVID-19 and the coronavirus definitely likely are causing a lot of anxiety, fear, living in fear, in fight, flight, or freeze mode, which does create that chemical reaction, puckering up the pelvic floor, sort of tightening that diaphragm, probably causing TMJ, some teeth grinding, some shrugging of the shoulders. And so let's, go ahead and see if we can let this go. And you know what I just thought of, you guys? I'm going to try this. Let's see if, and I'll make sure I tag everyone in this. So, I have the Stop Your Leak course that is on my new course platform that I'm trying out. I am going to see if I can upload this video as a course and then upload a handout, which is sort of a progressive relaxation that I use. I call it the body scan. And I give it to a lot of people. And I think this would be really cool. And then I'm wondering if I can make it for free, because I've been having some troubles with this platform. And so see if you could get in there and you can sign up for free. I'm curious to see if this would work. And then you can download that body scan, which is basically, if your eyebrows are clenched, you check in with yourself from head to toe. So am I here? Am I clenching my jaw, shrugging my shoulders, sucking up my diaphragm, sucking in my belly, sucking my anus up and in, squeezing my legs together, sort of going into that curled ball protective mode. And yeah, Cass, you have the body scan. Yes. Hi, Sophia. Thanks for joining. So, if you're doing that, how do we get out of that and getting everything to release? Okay. So I think there's 6 of you guys live on here right now. Would you guys, it's going to take me until probably tomorrow, but I'll tag you. This is an experiment of, let me see if I can create this live little course with like sort of how to unpucker your pelvic floor, and then I'll put those resources in there, and you'll actually have a handout, or you can leave it on your computer. It'll be a PDF form. So I think that would be one good thing, and that's one wonderful way that you can incorporate breathing and muscle release and releasing that muscle tension, and that's another thing that we can control. So we can add that to our little circle of influence. Okay, and the other thing I would add, and I will tell you, I'm not the best at it, you guys. I've been working so much in here and focused and helping Preston that I keep saying I'm going to exercise. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 7 o'clock. And all of a sudden it's getting dark and I didn't even get out and move. So I'm guilty too, but we could add movement to the things that we can control, which will also help our overall sensation of well-being, because that makes you, what does it do? It makes you breathe more. It sort of gets the muscles relaxed, get your blood pumping through you, get your mind off of things, and of course, all the general good things that exercise does. But just think about movement. Just stand up and, is it Tiger King or Tiger Cat? What's the name of that thing? I think I watched one episode of that. It was crazy. Okay, that's nuts. Oh yeah, it's called Tiger King. So if you're watching Tiger King and you're trying to decide if Carol Baskin, poured sardine oil over her husband to feed to the tigers, stand up and march it out to that and move around and dance a little bit, or get on TikTok and start dancing and laughing at people because it's great. Okay, and Cass says if you Google Fred Astaire, there's free home beginner dance classes. Yes, that's awesome. Okay, I have to tell you though, Cass, that I might see if I can find a free hip hop dance class, because that's what I want to do. I also know that there's a tap dancer in the group too, and I know that it doesn't make your knee and your hip feel great, but the tap dancing, right? I guess Fred Astaire, was he a tap dancer? I'm so sorry, guys, I don't even know. Okay, Shree says if you YouTube, there is fun kid dance videos that you can do together. Freeze dance is what my grandsons love, and oh my gosh, I don't know if I can read the rest of that, Shree, without disconnecting us. Okay, there it is. It is really moving. You can do it as animals also. So yeah, this is really cool. We have some really good stuff. She also said it'll give you a real workout. Okay, so we've got a few things. If you guys want to add more things below, add those in about free things, free movement. Now, last thing I'm going to say, and this is pelvic health, right? And again, I haven't gotten to the exercise stuff because if anyone wants to knows of anyone who does their videos, I think I have one person. Actually, Sophia, we need to talk to your friend because I do want her to do a few things. But I have been watching some of these exercise videos, even some that my colleagues are doing, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, everyone in my group or that has pelvic health issues would likely start peeing their pants or have more pelvic pain. So take the pelvic, stop your leak pelvic health course online, because that will help. And then we need to do some other little movement exercises that are not so difficult or create too many problems on the pelvic floor. Okay, you guys, I think that's good. I always talk longer than I think I'm going to, so I'll go ahead and get off, and I will tag you guys when I get that free course up and running, and let's see if it works. So this is going to be just a test. Do your breathing, check out the body scan, move, and look at your circle of what you can control. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed my house and my mess behind the scenes, and I hope you guys are doing well. Everyone stay healthy, and I'm so glad you guys are here. Okay, we'll talk to you later. Bye, thank you.